Hello, my name's David D'Agostino and I'm the IT Service Management Practice Lead here at Nexthink. I'd like to spend the next few minutes and a few short video sessions to describe how Nexthink can support not only the improvement in quality of IT services as delivered to end users, but also to improve the efficiency and the effectiveness of the IT organisation itself. Now, while we're talking about IT, let's start with the data centre. Over the years, the data centre has evolved and continues to evolve in complexity. Many components, hardware, software, network components, storage and so on, all of which have got complex relationships with each other and all of which cost a great deal of money and a great deal of management effort in order to keep working smoothly. IT has also invested significant amounts in not only the monitoring tools needed to make sure that the data center is working nicely, but also in the underlying processes which have evolved over the past 30 years or so to make sure that things like change and so on are effected correctly. And for that reason, from the data center's perspective, all the lights are green, everything's fine. Unfortunately, that's not the case out in the real world, because IT's focus is very much on the data center. From an end user's perspective, often we find that the perception of the end user and the perception of those services that IT is delivering is much lower than IT imagines, because it's almost impossible for IT to have an accurate, fact-based, detailed understanding not only of the performance of the end user's device, so in terms of how well the hardware is behaving, how well connectivity back to those services is working and so on. But it's also virtually impossible to get a clear understanding of how the end users themselves feel about the services that are being delivered, what their experience of those services is. Now Nexthink, with its unique ability to collect over 800 attributes from those devices in real time, also has the unique ability to correlate those 800 hard attributes with a great deal of information from the end user themselves. And we can see side by side not only how the service is behaving, but also how the end user is experiencing it. And what Nexthink allows organizations to do is significantly increase the happiness and the experience of those end users. How do we do that? Well, typically, the low-hanging fruit is typically going to be on the operational side, in the production environment. So Nexthink can add an enormous amount of value to improve activities such as incident management, for example, and to improve the quality of the CMDB and various other aspects. But that's not the end of the story, because Nexthink also gives us an enormous amount of information to support successful transition into the production environment through effective transformation management, the data and the facts once again to allow us to manage change in the organisation effectively. And what that allows us to do is design errors out of the system. But in order to understand the change and the transformational aspects, Nexthink also needs to be able to provide information for senior management who are making strategic decisions. And in order to do that, they need to understand the demand from the business for new and improved services, and they need to understand the portfolio of services that they're delivering to the business. And Nexthink is uniquely positioned to provide all of that information. In the next 3 videos, we'll be looking in a little bit more detail at these 3 aspects of the service lifecycle, and they'll be coming up very shortly.